Hello friends! In this tutorial, we will draw a cute matcha drink in Procreate. As usual, you can download the reference image and color swatches used for this illustration, and I'll also link the texture brushes used in description too. First, you're gonna want to add the file you want to reference to your canvas and then resize it to fit your canvas. Then, let's lower the opacity of the reference image so that we can trace the outlines better. It's important that you don't accidentally add your sketch to the reference image directly, so let's create a new layer to draw the line art and rename it as line art. And we will use the cool symmetry function in Procreate for this purpose, so that we only need to draw half of the sketch. And when you turn on vertical symmetry and draw on the left side, the same strokes are applied on the right side automatically, and vice versa. To do that, just tap the wrench tool, then tap Canvas menu, then toggle on Drawing Guide, and then tap Edit Drawing Guide, tap Reference, then Symmetry. You can use any brush you like to sketch, but I'm using a tinderbox. Use a larger size to trace the outline of the cup and then switch to a smaller size for the inside. When the body of the cup is done, let's just create a new layer to draw the base of the cup. We'll start with tracing the oval shape on the top of the base, and in order to make sure the bottom of the base has the exact same shape and size, we'll just duplicate it and then drag it down, add a vertical line on either side, and then delete unnecessary lines. When you're done, just turn off the drawing guides, and then we will move to the handle because we only need it on one side. To do that, just go to the layer you're working on, tap it, and then tap Drawing Assist to turn it off. Just add a rough shape for the foam on top, and I'm also adding a cute face just by drawing two circles for eyes, one wave for mouth, and marking the cheeks. And then finally, let's just merge all line art layers by either pinching all layers into one or by tapping the top layer and then tap merge down, rinse and repeat until all the line art is on one layer. You can hide the reference layer when you're done with the outline. Now we will use the reference image for color picking. So duplicate the reference image layer, then maximize the opacity, resize it, and move it all the way to the top left corner. Because we want to separate our colors from the black outline, we'll create a new layer for the coloring, and we'll drag and drop the color layer below the line art layer. Use the monoline brush for coloring and adding drawings. Start with the content of the drink and not the glass. Let's use the eyedropper to pick the green color from the reference, and roughly divide the drink into top half and bottom half with a wavy line instead of a straight one. And make sure to close the outline and then drag the color inside. Every time you drag a color into a shape, make sure to move your Apple Pencil to the right before lifting it so the threshold can be increased and there won't be any awkward gaps between your outline and the new color dropped in. And add the face details too. Do the same for the bottom of the drink and the base with the off-white color that you picked from the reference. And let's create a new layer to start coloring the cup itself. Because we want the cup to look transparent-ish, let's lower the opacity of the cup layer. To do that, just tap the and sign and then slide the bar under opacity to the left. It's time to introduce some color variations, otherwise this piece will look boring. We'll just create a shadow. Let's assume the light comes from the right side, so the right side will look lighter and the left side darker. Let's create a new layer above the base color layer to add a shadow on the left side of the cup. Let's change the blending mode of the shadow layer from N for normal to M for multiply, so the shadow won't look too harsh. Use the same colors from your base color layer for the shadow. You might be wondering, shouldn't we use a darker color? Well, because we changed the blending mode, the same color used will show a different shade. Tap the layer and then tap clipping mask so the new strokes can only cover what's already there underneath that layer. We want to soften the shadow even more, so let's use the smudge tool to create a natural effect. Tap the hand sign and then choose airbrushing, then pick soft blend brush. Let's also repeat the same process for the glass. Create a new layer to add 2 blushes in circles. Blur the blushes with Gaussian blur. To do that, just tap the adjustment sign, then Gaussian blur, and use your Apple Pencil to move from left to right on the screen until you're happy with the look. Before we wrap it up, let's just create a new layer to add some final textures. I'm using my splatter and flick and darker shades of the green and off-white. It's not necessary to purchase the brushes I'm using, and you can use any texture brushes provided by Procreate. Because we don't want the outline to look black, let's change its color using the drinks color. Tap the line art layer and tap alpha lock. This ensures that our new strokes will only show up where the lines are already, and nothing will go outside the border. You can stop here if you want, but you can also create a new layer on top just to add a little bit of highlight on the glass with the white color. To make it look even cuter, let's just add 2 hearts in red. There you go. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure to subscribe so you get notified next time we publish a new one. If you enjoyed it, will you just drop a like to help this channel reach more people just like you? Thank you. And until next time, happy creating!